Hello, everybody. Welcome back. It's a beautiful Monday here in the world. Welcome back to another episode of the Stack Bitcoin Show, your beginner-friendly guide to saving in Bitcoin. For all you noobs out there, people that are new to Bitcoin, they're confused. There's so many pitfalls. But today, we're going to cover the basics. Satwise Janks in the house. Round of applause from the live studio audience for Satwise Janks, also for Pipeline Podcast. Thanks for tuning in, boys. Welcome. Today, we're going to say to the people that are new to Bitcoin, all you need to know to stack safely. And if you've been in Bitcoin for a while, you kind of know these things. But if you're new to Bitcoin, these things this might be like the third or fourth thing you hear about Bitcoin by the time you're getting into it. By the time you realize this is the way, right? You would have left your coins on the exchange. You would have used your Bitcoin to try to gain interest on your Bitcoin, and you would have probably bought other things besides Bitcoin to try to have a diversified portfolio, right? Those are all wrong. And today we're going to talk about the 2 things you need to do to save in Bitcoin safely. It's easy. It's a 2-item list. A lot of you guys already might know what it is, but if you're here, new, learning about Bitcoin, this is for you, okay? But first, let's jump into the first segment of the show. That is the Bitcoin strength. Because we got to know how much Bitcoin is worth today, because I don't know, I still like to look. I still like to see. The price of Bitcoin today is $102,648.42. You can buy 974 Satoshis for a single dollar. What the hell is a Satoshi? What the heck is a Satoshi? What the curse is a Satoshi? Bitcoin Beacon in the house. What up? Round of applause from the live studio audience for Bitcoin Beacon. Thanks for tuning in. What the heck is a Satoshi? A Satoshi is a fraction of a Bitcoin, just like a dollar is made up of 100 cents. A Bitcoin is made up of 100 million Satoshis. And why does that matter? It matters because you don't have to save up $102,000 to be able to buy a Bitcoin. You don't save up to buy Bitcoin. You save in Bitcoin, because for as little as $1 right now, you can buy 974 fractions of a Bitcoin. See? And those 974 Satoshis, those 974 fractions of a Bitcoin already have the same properties as a full Bitcoin. In other words, you already, whatever value that 974 Satoshis represents, that value is shielded from inflation, and it's actually, you're winning already. There's no down payment to buy your Bitcoin, right? There's such a low barrier to entry that you can start with as little as $1. Okay, let's say you want to start with a penny. Let's say you're walking down the street minding your own business. You look down, you see a penny, you pick it up, and all the day that penny would be worth about 9 Satoshis, 9.74 Satoshis. We'll just say 9. We'll round down to the whole number. 9 Satoshis for a single penny. When we started doing this show 2 years ago, 2 years ago, maybe next week, I think. Let's see when that happens. Next week. Next week on Tuesday, so a week and a day, will be our 2-year anniversary. When we started stacking sats here on the show, we were getting 38 to 40 Satoshis for a penny. Look, now we're not even getting 10 Satoshis for a penny. That's crazy. That's crazy talk, right? That's crazy talk. Like if you think about it, man, it's pretty awesome. It's pretty awesome to be able to see that level of growth, that level of, I guess, debasement, right? In such a short time. 2 years seems like a lot, but I mean, it's flown by, right? And don't worry, we're going to go through all of the stats and all stuff in the stack recap, but let's keep talking here for a second. Round of applause and shout out to Aussie HB. Good morning, sir, because it's morning somewhere. And if you know, you know. If you're into Bitcoin, you always respond when somebody says good morning. You say good morning back. That is a rule. Okay, I didn't make the rule. I just follow the rule. Welcome, Aussie. Welcome. All right, so that is the stack. That is the Bitcoin strength for today. Like I said, 102,000. It's pretty good. It's pretty good. Okay, now we're gonna jump into a little segment here on the show that we like to call. It's supposed to be inspirational. Okay, so I put inspirational background music to help motivate the Bitcoin, the pre-Bitcoiner, the person that's considering Bitcoin and is like they're on the fence about it. They're doing the research, and they happen across this video, and they say, you know what? Let me see what this guy has to say about Bitcoin. Let's see. Okay, we're gonna go into the next section, which is, of course, why we stack, where we drop some orange pills on the heads of future Bitcoiners, maybe Bitcoin plebs, you might say pre-plebs, right? With a little inspirational background music. All right, why do we save in Bitcoin? Okay, and here's what I'm going to tell you. Here's what I'm going to share with you the way you should be stacking the safest way possible. Okay, the safest way possible. Let's say you finally decide to go ahead and start saving in Bitcoin, and you get your account on an exchange, for example, or you buy some Bitcoin somewhere, and you log into your account. Let's say it's an exchange, right? A Bitcoin exchange. I'm not saying which one, anyone, right? Anywhere where you buy your Bitcoin, you log in, you set up your account, and you buy some Bitcoin. You buy your first Bitcoin. You're stoked. You're happy because you have some sats. You have some sats in your control now, right? Or do you? Right? Rule number 1 is take your coins off the exchange. What does that mean? Take your sats off the exchange. Okay. Yes, there's a whole different side discussion about UTXOs, but we'll talk about UTXOs on a different day. Today we're keeping it super simple. 2 steps to saving in Bitcoin safely. You buy the Bitcoin at wherever exchange you're going to buy it. And sometimes, usually, they'll restrict you from being able to withdraw that Bitcoin for like maybe, I don't know, 7 days, 11 days. It depends. It just depends on how long it takes for the funds that you transported to that exchange to clear against your bank. Once it clears, the exchange will allow you to move the Bitcoin off of the exchange and into a wallet that you have the keys for, that you control. Okay? So those are the 2 steps. The 2 steps are buy Bitcoin and take custody of that Bitcoin. That's it. Okay? And real quick, why does that matter? Why can't I leave my coins on the exchange? It's a lot more convenient. I don't have to pay any extra money to get a hardware device, right? And if I lock up my account and forget my password, I just do the password recovery thing and they can let me back into my account, right? That sounds cool. It sounds awesome. That's what we're used to, right? But what happens if that exchange goes out of business and takes your Bitcoin with them, or they decide not to have, they actually decide that they're not even selling you real Bitcoin. They're just selling you a line on the screen that when you log in, it's going to show you how much Bitcoin you think you have, right? That Bitcoin that's on the exchange on your account is not yours. It's not real until the Bitcoin network knows that that it should be in the wallet you have the keys for, a wallet you control, right? So when you do a withdrawal from an exchange and take that Bitcoin into your custody, into your wallet, that forces the exchange to write that transaction to the Bitcoin blockchain or the time chain. And once that's written to the Bitcoin time chain, now you can be confident and verify that Bitcoin is actually in your wallet, that you have the keys for, that you control, because you can see it on the Bitcoin blockchain. Okay, you don't have to take anybody's word for it, right? Yeah, maybe the exchange really truly is buying the Bitcoin for you and they're holding it for you with all the greatest intentions in the world. But it still doesn't matter. What if that exchange gets seized for whatever reason, or somebody in there did something weird and now like the FBI is all over that place, right? That means that your Bitcoin, maybe you'll get it down the road, but maybe not, right? Why worry about that? Why have that third-party risk? All you need to do is take custody of that Bitcoin, have it in a wallet you have the keys for, and you'll be covered. You'll be set. Okay. Now, if you're new, I am assuming that if you're watching this video, you're new to it. If you're not, it's because you guys are cool, solid Bitcoiners, and you guys want to support the channel. So I appreciate that. So I appreciate you guys standing by for this beginner stuff. because this beginner stuff is important, right? We gotta attract the new people into Bitcoin and teach them or guide them through the minefield that is the going from pleb to Bitcoiner, right? Going from pleb to Bitcoiner is like a lot of stuff in the way. Okay, I'm gonna do a little bit of bonus content here besides those two things. So those are the foundation. That's the foundation of saving in Bitcoin right there. Buy your Bitcoin and take custody of your Bitcoin. Those are the two things that we needed to share today. That is how you stack. That's how you save in Bitcoin safely. You buy it and you take custody of it. That's it. Super simple. Okay. Now, on your journey as a beginner getting into Bitcoin, there's so many pitfalls. People are gonna want you to say, hey, you know what? What if for for $100 right now in Bitcoin, you're gonna get I don't know, what is it? What is it? Let me see. I just did a transaction here earlier. Let's see. For $100, you're gonna get at the price right now, 102, 103. You're gonna get about 97,000 satoshis, or 0.000977707 Bitcoin. Okay. Like, don't you want more coins? If you just buy this other coin, you can have, instead of just having 0.0007 Bitcoin, you can have 1 million of this poop coin, right? So like it's a numbers bias, and you feel like, or they feel like they're getting more value for their money, for their $100. If that gets them 1 million coins of something, right? Or with the same $100, you're just gonna get 0.0007 Bitcoin. Doesn't sound right. It doesn't sound as like you're not getting as much, right? Well, let me tell you the difference, especially for those guys that are new. The difference between Bitcoin and any other coin. Okay, any other coin that's not Bitcoin is considered an altcoin, a poop coin, a SHIT coin. Okay, and those, no matter what they claim as decentralized, all those different projects, all those different coins, still have a board or like a foundation or like a guy that like controls the supply and can change the rules on you. They can fork the blockchain on you, right, and change the rules on you. And we already do that anyways. That's what the dollar does, right? They continuously increase the supply. So why would you buy a crypto that is also going to be doing the same thing that the dollar is going to be doing to you, right? Debasing you, right? That's why we don't mess with those coins. We only do Bitcoin here, and that's one of the pitfalls. Is people will try to get you into their coin or a coin, right? With the idea that you're going to get more for your money because you get more units, but those units are not worth as much as if you just bought Bitcoin, right? Also, with all of these coins, there's no hard cap on the supply, or most of them. There's no hard cap on the supply, so they can change the supply on you. And when they change the supply on you, they can debase you, right? Bitcoin's capped, 21 million. That's it, no more than that. So it won't inflate. Like inflation on it is super. I think it's under 2% now, because there's new coins being minted, but because there's new coins being released from the existing supply. 21 million is still the cap, but not all 21 million coins are out yet. Okay, so that's why we have a little bit of inflation on Bitcoin, which is actually less than gold at this point, with the last halving. So anyway, I think I kind of overwhelmed the new guy at this point. So sorry, new guy. All you got to remember is two things: buy the Bitcoin, take custody of that Bitcoin. That's it. That's it. Don't do anything else. Don't buy the Bitcoin and leave it on the exchange because it's giving you yield. Nah, that's a trap. That's a trap, because remember, as long as the Bitcoin is on the exchange and not in your own wallet, it's not your Bitcoin. Okay. All right. Besides that, let's see. Okay. Why do we save in Bitcoin? Okay, let's talk about that real quick. Real easy, real fast. We do this every single day, every episode. And I gotta say it, guys, it's part of the show now, right? If you were walking down the street new to Bitcoin and we're about to get in the same elevator, you see me with my Bitcoin shirt, my Bitcoin hat, my Bitcoin I don't know, pin. And you're like, Bitcoin, huh? All right. Pitch me on Bitcoin. Why should I save on Bitcoin? You tell me before we go from floor 1 to floor 2 and go. I say, okay, super simple. Why do we save in Bitcoin? Because saving in Bitcoin is like traveling back in time and giving yourself a perpetually increasing retroactive raise for the hours you've already worked for as long as you hold the Bitcoin that represents those hours. That's it. That's it. That is why we stack in a nutshell, boys, ladies and gentlemen. Do me a favor, guys. If you're watching, tap the screen, do a little heart stuff just to make the YouTube algorithm kind of like pop off. Hopefully get more people in here. And Ozzy, thanks for subscribing. I know you subscribe because you're able to chat. I appreciate you being here. And do me a favor, guys, hit that like button too, guys. I know it sucks, but we're stuck at 366 subscribers. We've been doing this show for about 2 years now, and I would really love to get this channel to 500 subs to enable monetization in the background, and then take that monetization income and use it to continue towards our goal of stacking 1 Bitcoin not live, but showing the path, showing the journey from 0 Bitcoin to 1 whole Bitcoin. Hopefully we can get this done before the price takes off on us. But that is the goal for the show. Again, to show my family, to show my friends that it's doable, that a little bit at a time, even if you don't get to 1 Bitcoin, will help you in the long run. Okay, let's get into that right now. Let's talk about that. Exactly that. How is it helping me? What are you talking about? Okay, so this show hasn't even gotten to 500 subscribers. It's not monetized yet. Somehow I've been able to make money by just doing the stacking. Okay, this is the way I think about it. So let's jump into the next topic. Let's get into our stack recap, because we don't only talk about stacking Bitcoin here Monday through Friday, 2 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 5 p.m. Eastern. We actually do it. Hard Hodl in the house. What up? Round of applause from a live studio audience for Hard Hodl. Welcome back. All right. So let's get into this, guys. In 2025, well, where is he? Oh, there it is. In 2025, we are up about 13.47% on our holdings. We're stacking about $20 a day. When the price of Bitcoin drops below our average buy price, we stack $40 a day. Okay? Again, 5 days a week, Monday through Friday. We do it live here during the stream. So we've saved about $3,460 and accumulated 3.8 million Satoshis, 0.038 Bitcoin. And if we were to go and try to buy the same amount of Bitcoin today with today's weaker money, it would cost us 13.4% more of today's weaker dollars for the same 3.8 million Satoshis, the same 0.038 Bitcoin. All right, we like to track every year individually. That way, in case somebody's new to the show, they can jump in and see what it's like to start from scratch every year. Okay. In 2024, we did the same thing. We started from scratch, $20 a day, $20 a day, sometimes $80 when the price of Bitcoin was the lowest we've seen for that year. In 2024, we saved $7,345 into Bitcoin through all of our DCAs and accumulated 0.12 Bitcoin, about 12.2 million Satoshis. If we were to go and try to buy that 0.122 Bitcoins today, it would cost us $12,552. In other words, it would cost us 70% more of today's weaker dollar. Are you guys seeing the trend here? Are we seeing the trend? When you're holding the dollar, when you're saving in dollars, it's like going back in time and giving yourself a continuously increasing pay cut for the hours you've already worked for as long as you hold those dollars. See what I'm saying there? See what I'm saying? Okay. So we started the show on May 22nd, 2023, Bitcoin Pizza Day, about 2 years ago. Yeah, next week on Tuesday will be our celebration for 2 years of doing the show. And back in the day, Bitcoin was at 27,360. Dang, what a beautiful price, right? That $5, that 18,000 Satoshis that we stacked that day is now worth about $18. You might say, whatever, $5 to $18, I don't care. It's not a big deal. It's like less than $20. But if you look at it in terms of percentages, you've more than 300%. You've more than 300% your gains, right? So it's grown more than 300%, which is amazing in 2 years, right? Now we take the average of all of our purchases from that day to Friday, and for the whole show, we've accumulated about 0.26 Bitcoin at the cost of about $14,269. And that stack is currently worth $27,452. If we were to go and try to buy the same amount of Bitcoin today with today's weaker money, it would cost us 92% more of today's weaker dollars. That is crazy. And not even talking about a full cycle yet. I'm not even talking about 4 years. I'm just talking about 2 years so far. 2 years in. Again, guys, each line in this spreadsheet represents an episode. Sometimes these are doubled up, but most of these lines represent an episode of the show. There it is. Proof of DCA from scratch, guys. From scratch. Look at this. I can't remember why we did a $1,000 buy-in right here, but that $1,000 is close to $3,000 by now. It's so crazy, right? But look, we just keep scrolling. This is a proof of stacking. Proof of stacking right here, guys. Proof of work, proof of stacking. Look, it's mostly green at this point. We have a couple of reds, but for the most part, it's green. So I'm super happy, super excited to see it, right? A show with less than 500 subscribers. We're not even monetized yet. And just in terms of the profit, or not the profit, but the gains from our little stack, we'll say it's, I don't know, $12,000, right? $12,000 worth of, I guess, quote unquote, unrealized gains. I consider that my payment for doing the show, right? Let's say I got paid $7,000 a year to do these episodes. So that's that in a way that's like it's one of my most successful YouTube channels in terms of gains, right? It's crazy just by stacking Bitcoin. So imagine if you had a way to generate revenue, like income, like with your skill set, with something you do, a side hustle, right? You take that money and just stack it into Bitcoin, and you're gonna be well off in the future. It's like crazy. The cheapest way to get sats off the main chain is Aqua Wallet. Enable direct peg in. Under options, choose L2 Bitcoin under spending accounts. Okay. Click receive, click liquid, then click direct peg in. Awesome. Oh, LN, maybe LN. Direct peg LN. LN, yeah, that's not right. It's not. Over Lightning. That's cool. That's rad. Let's see. Yeah, it makes sense because even that little bit of fees to take it from your exchange to your wallet at right now, it doesn't seem like much, but eventually you're gonna want those sats down the future. So if you can figure out ways to get it to get it as cheaply as possible, that works great. Okay. Hard Hollow says subs and likes are for the grifters. Look at your gains over the 2 years. The proof is in the pudding. Hard Hollow, dude. Yeah, that's it. That's exactly right, dude. And the best part from my perspective is I didn't have to compromise my morals or my beliefs for views, subscribers, and gains that way, right? Like, so it doesn't matter. Like my goal here is to share the knowledge of Bitcoin. Okay, that's crazy. Anyway, all right, that is the stack recap. And since in 2025, our lowest our average buy for 2025 is $92,000, and the price of Bitcoin right now is $102,000. So that means that today we're going to stack about $20. So $20 worth of Bitcoin today. And now that we know how much Bitcoin we're going to stack, there's only one thing left to do. Time to stack some corn. Bitcoin, that is. Let me get my wallet ready, boys. Let's see. I'm still using Strike for now. Open up my Strike app. Hit the buy button. Bam! And I say to myself, okay, how much Bitcoin am I buying today? 20. I key in $20. I hit next. I cut the music. Drum roll, please. Buying $20 worth of Bitcoin right now for the Stack Bitcoin show. Officially continuing to DCA Monday through Friday, 2 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 5 p.m. Eastern. And just like that, we've acquired an additional 19,313 Satoshis for the stack. Wild. Now let's add this data to the spreadsheet for 2025. ABW in the house. Round of applause from the live studio audience for ABW. Welcome. Hope all is well. Hope you had a good weekend. And not breaking your back trying to accommodate 3,000 subscribers. That's true. That's true, Hard Huddle. It's very true. Okay, so down here is our 5, 12, 25. Thanks for hitting the 100%, guys. Thanks for hitting the likes. Awesome. Super stoked. We're gonna keep the channel growing, guys. Slow and steady. We know what we stand for, and no compromises, guys. We just save it. We buy the Bitcoin. We take custody of the Bitcoin, and we help other people do it and understand why. That's it. Super simple. All right. The price of Bitcoin we deserve today is $102,573.40 Bitcoin. We bought $20 worth of that sweet corn. Sorry. And the yield is 0.00019313. 19,313 Satoshis have been added to the stack. Copy this here. In case you're curious, this little field is just giving us a more accurate weighted average of our purchasing of Bitcoin. So we take it down to the Satoshi level. At this point, we've been buying. Our average is $89,000 Satoshi, $89,000 Bitcoin. This is more of a rough estimate, 92,000, right? This line here actually accounts for the individual amounts, because sometimes we buy $20, sometimes we buy $40, sometimes we buy $80, right? And so the price here is different because it averages out to a lower entry, because we're accounting for the amount we're buying and on this one we're just accounting for the price at the time of purchase, not how much, assuming that we just bought the same amount each time. Okay, so anyway, that's a little bit of extra data. So that's why you see me copy it every episode. All right, I'm going to take this data and add it to the spreadsheet for the whole lifespan of the show. Almost 2 years. Come on, guys. We're going to get there soon. It's going to be awesome. Right there. Bam. Copy this thing. Same thing as I explained earlier. Our average buy price for the whole lifespan of the show is about $52,858.66. That's a weighted average. If we don't use the weighted average, our average buy is about 59%. Still pretty good. But you can see how that separation is becoming bigger and bigger, right? So it's 52 to 59. That's a big difference now. The weighted average BTC price. All right. So that is right there. That's how it goes. And then we go back to our total amount. Yes, we talked about this amount earlier today, 0.26 that we've bought by DCAing here on the show. But I'm also doing other stuff on the background to kind of help motivate people and inspire people to save in Bitcoin. Also, we have a generous contributors and donators like Satwise Janks in the house. The donations that I get on the show, I count them as part of the sheet. The reclaimed BTC, things I've sold around my house that I don't need anymore to free up that economic energy. I turn that economic energy into Bitcoin and I stack that, right? Special events like saving in Bitcoin for 100 days straight without stopping. Bam, 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 right? The 21 Moto project. For every mile I put on my Grom that I don't drive my V8 Tundra, I'm saving about 21 cents of gas per mile. So for every mile, I save 21 cents into Bitcoin. Okay, and I track that here on that sheet. Also, the side hustle, just like stuff I've been doing on the side is random, you know, emceeing events, just random stuff. Don't ask. Anyway, all of that combined with our DCA total adds up to the holdings for the show, and the holdings for the show currently are 0.36460468 BTC for a dollar value currently of about $37,000. That is wild. That is wild. What do you guys think? That's it. That's all I got for you guys. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode of the Stack Bitcoin Show, your beginner-friendly guide to saving in Bitcoin. If you have family members, friends that are curious about Bitcoin, but you don't want to orange pill them because sometimes you got to hear it from somebody else, bring him to the show. Let me know that they're watching and I will speak to them directly. We can do that right now, guys. There's 5 concurrent viewers. We can take the time to live orange pill people that need it. Okay? Bring a friend, invite them, tell me that they're in the chat. I'll speak directly to them. Do they care about the savings technology? Do they care about sovereignty? Do they care about no third-party risks? Okay? Let me know what their key is, and I'll talk on it. I'll talk on that process and hopefully get them closer to becoming a Bitcoiner. All right? Hope you guys enjoyed this episode of the Stack Bitcoin Show. I'll see you guys tomorrow for another episode. But until then, remember, if you ain't stacking, you're slacking. Later, guys. Chippendales, let's go. Crazy. You guys are awesome. Thanks for tuning in, guys. Awesome. What a good Monday.